All right, so let's start this broadcast with some breaking inputs that have in fact just come in, where an Indian woman cadet who was part of the 17 Indian nationals who were on board the seized vessel MSC Aries has now returned back home to India. In an official statement, the Ministry of External Affairs has said, and I quote, with the concerted efforts of the Indian mission in Tehran and the Iranian government, the Indian deck cadet Tessa Joseph from Kerala's Thrissur district, who was amongst the Indian crew members of the container vessel MSC Aries, has safely landed at the Cochin International Airport today afternoon. This is the quote that's been put out by the Indian External Affairs Ministry. Now, Iranian commandos, remember, on the 13th of April had seized an Israeli-affiliated container ship that carried about 17 Indian crew members. And following the development, External Affairs Minister S. Jaishankar had spoken to his Iranian counterpart, Foreign Minister of Iran, Amir Abdullahian, over this matter. The government of India has said that they are also in touch with the Iranian authorities for ensuring the well-being of the remaining crew members. All right, now to give us more updates on this, we're being joined in by our principal diplomatic correspondent, Siddhant Sibil, who is joining us on this broadcast. Siddhant, tell us what more information we have, because this is the first Indian national of the 17 members who'd been seized as part of that crew who's now returned back home safely.
Well, Mohammed, big story. The first Indian national, a woman, has reached India, who was on board MSC Aries, the vessel which was seized by Iranian forces over the weekend. And we know that the Iranian ambassador himself has confirmed the development to WION. And simultaneously, we have seen the release by India's Ministry of External Affairs. In fact, the Iranian ambassador, who spoke exclusively to WION, also said that the Indian nationals, currently 16 of them who are on board the vessel, are free to go, and they have got consular access with the Indian consulate. Now, this is a big development. We know that there were major concerns over the nationals, the foreign nationals on board the vessel, and India, of course, had raised the matter with Tehran. The Indian External Affairs Minister, Dr. S. Jaishankar, spoke with his Iranian counterpart on Sunday, pressing for early release. So the release has started. The Iranian ambassador, of course, at length spoke to WION not only on the vessel issue, but also India's role amidst the ongoing situation in West Asia, saying that India, of course, can play a critical role in terms of de-escalation. But overall, his sense was about the escalating situation in the region and how, of course, Iran will not, of course, escalate further. But if there is a response, then, of course, there will be a counter-response. But all in all, a major development, even as we know the situation remains delicate in West Asia. We know there are roughly around 10,000 Indians in Iran, and India, of course, has good relationship with both Iran and with Israel. So earlier this week, we also saw a conversation with the Israeli ambassador, who sees India's role positive in terms of de-escalation of the ongoing situation in the region.
Absolutely, indeed, Siddhant. And also in your conversations with the Iranian ambassador, have you been able to pick up any more information as to how soon the other 16 Indian nationals who are still in Iranian custody could be released?
Well, Mohammed, he said that these Indian nationals, 16 of them, are free to go. He specifically pointed out that they are not detained by the Iranian authorities, and it's up to the captain of the crew to allow them to go and leave the vessel and come to homeland. So it is more of the protocols which needs to be followed rather than the intent of the government in Iran, which is clear through the words of the Iranian ambassador that the Indian nationals are free to go. Iran was more than welcome to facilitate India. And of course, he also mentioned that, of course, the announcement coming from the MEA today, but he said that the Indian national, the woman, was released yesterday and she came back to India. We saw the first picture also being released by India's Ministry of External Affairs. So all in all, many would say all is well that ends well. India never wanted to be in the crossfire of the ongoing situation in West Asia. But remember, West Asia hosts one of the largest number of Indians anywhere in the world. Many of them blue-collar workers, but also many of them involved in shipping businesses. We know that Indians were evacuated in the past by the Indian Navy, but this time the case was different. It was a state actor that was involved when it comes to the seizing of the vessel. So government-to-government conversation happened. The Indian External Affairs Minister spoke, and now we have seen the release starting to happen. And the Iranian ambassador telling WION exclusively that not only the Indian national is free, but also the other 16 are free to travel to India.
Absolutely. Thank you very much indeed, Siddhant Sibil, for joining us with all those updates there. For all the latest news, download the WION app and subscribe to our YouTube channel.